So here was the quote from Friday, I believe, from Roger Goodell. There have been no formal plans or decisions. We obviously continue to be in close communication with the union on a variety of matters, but no start of negotiations has been set under or are under considerations really at this point. We did spend time today talking at length about areas of our collective bargaining agreement that we want to focus on. The two areas we really spent time on were the cap itself, the integrity of that system, how it's working, where do we need to address the context of collective bargaining, when does that happen? That was a lengthy discussion. The second is just of rising cost. The cost of stadiums, the cost of facilities, the cost of operation, the cost of investment, and how dramatically that's impacting the ownership view. So this leads people to believe that, and one of the is teams' ability to sort of circumvent the cap with void years and things like that, which allow them, the teams that are willing to spend more money, to have an advantage by doing that with the cap, leads you to believe that they would think about changing that.
So, yeah, and we spent a lot of time talking about the tush-push, obviously. This is a way bigger deal than the tush-push. It won't get as much coverage, but if they change the way you can circumvent the cap, that is a blow to how the Eagles do things currently. Now, who knows? Maybe they'll find a different way. Like, I think when you have smart people running it, you can always find workarounds compared to teams that don't have smart people running it. But the best way I could explain this to how it would hurt the Eagles is if you look at the top 10 players on their roster in terms of average contract per year. So Jalen's average contract is around $50 million, but he never counts that against the cap. Their 10 highest paid players average out to cap hits of around $225 million a year, but they only count for about $110 million on the cap. So basically, the way the Eagles are able to have such a talented roster, and everyone goes, well, how do they do this? It's because when you hear the players making X, he's actually making half of that on the Eagles' salary cap because they add void years. Jeffrey Lurie cuts big checks. So if they make a change to that, it will even the playing field between the owners that don't spend a lot of money and the owners that do spend a lot of money.
So I think there are a number of reasons why this is coming up, but the first one is you are starting to hear public players and regular fans understand that this is going on and talk about it. And I think it makes the owners who don't participate in it there's a spotlight on them, and because the Eagles are like, hey, they can do whatever they want because they're willing to spend the money. And what I would say is this.
Joe Burrow was one of the first ones to do it.
To point out, why can the Eagles do it? Why can the Eagles do it? Every time this happens, the leagues do something to fix it. And because most rules in CBAs like this are done to protect the owners from themselves and done to keep salary down. That's what they want to do. That's why all these aprons exist in the NBA. That's why the luxury tax exists in baseball. They don't have a cap, but essentially they have a cap, except for the couple of owners who will. And my guess is that there's probably 4 owners who are willing to spend at this level, but everybody else is not.
Well, and I would think with baseball, like some of the things the Dodgers are doing with deferring the money, like 30 years or whatever, that seems like a pretty clear, unfair thing. I think what the Eagles are doing, I agree with you that like why they're doing it for sure. I think the Eagles, like they've just come up with a smart way to do it, and
what's the difference between this and deferring money?
Well, I think there's a little. Now,
at least players are deferring. At least players are getting a loss when they defer the money.
With the Dodgers, basically they pay Ohtani, a ton of money, but they only pay him a little bit each year now, and then so that seems more unfair to me than what the Eagles are doing, because the Eagles are at least cutting players big checks now. They are flat out not paying Ohtani for another whatever many years it is. So I think there's a difference there. I think with the Eagles, they have found a loophole. But the good news is for fans is this is probably 2 or 3 years away. So they have time to adjust, and it's probably not going to impact like this current group of Eagles.
No, what it'll be is when the whole context of this discussion is the 18-game schedule. Is they will wrap it up into whatever changes they make here will be wrapped up in whatever that agreement is. That would be my guess.
But it would be a change to how the Eagles do things for sure. Like it would definitely. I mean, we it's a shame you had Jake Rosenberg on. I feel like now you're starting to understand the cap. It'll just change back. Like it'll be easier now at this point.
To understand it. Yeah. Well, and the one point that Jake Rosenberg made, which I think is true, is it's hard to judge any of these contracts because of the amount of stuff that you don't know what's in the contract. They don't make the void year thing public, as far as I know.
No, well, they do, but it's not like the NBA where, if you sign a 5-year, $100 million deal, you're getting $20 million a year for 5 years, and you can compare to the market. Even when new contracts come out now, Jalen should absolutely be demanding a raise this offseason. Full stop.
Don't worry, it's coming next year.
Yeah, but I would do it now if I were him. Now's the time to do it.
Before this happens.
Yeah, he may be doing it.
Or just before he plays next year. I mean, yeah. So, but Jalen is technically not a top 10 paid quarterback right now. So if I was him, I would be asking for more money. But yeah, losing this will hurt the Eagles for sure.
Yeah, and if I were them, I would start.
Hurt the Eagles. They'll figure it out.
They'll figure it out, but they're losing an advantage. The advantage they have right now is Jeffrey Lurie cuts big signing bonus checks that others owners won't do.
Well, according to your reasoning, shouldn't they be so proud that they came up with something so good that if it gets eliminated, they
I was going to say this. You beat me to it. This will be another thing for Howie Roseman's Hall of Fame case.
Oh, my God.
Which would have been a bigger loss, the tush push or this cap?
Well, definitely this. I mean, the tush
push is a
push,
way bigger deal.
Yeah, it's a way bigger deal. The tush push they would have been mostly fine without. I think there would have been a coolness of it getting banned, whatever. They will actually have to figure things out if this changes.
Yeah, you know what you figure out? Draft better.
Well, they're drafting pretty good right now.
Well, they are. Yes, the last 3 years, I get it.
Yeah,
yes, they are drafting better. But I'm saying that's how you do it. Because, see, what happens is when you spend money, all you're doing half the time is you're erasing mistakes that you've made already in the past.
Yeah.
But the tough thing, though, will be, and you can tell me if this happens in the NBA. I don't think it happens a ton. But I do think if, let's say they hit, like they did, they hit on their last 9 picks in the first 3 rounds. Mm-hmm. They're going to be able to pay all those guys because they can manipulate the salary cap, do this. I do wonder, because there's so many draft picks in the NFL compared to the NBA, and I guess baseball has a lot, but that's like a fake draft. Do you think that it'll become hard for teams to sign their own players?
Yes.
And I think that's a negative. But I think that's
a
negative, right? Where let's just use Nolan Smith.
To keep players, yeah. But 2 sides to every coin.
Yeah.
If the player can't get his value, he wants to be a free agent.
Oh, I agree with you.
So the player wants to go get paid. Yeah.
I agree with you. I just think the best system is where the team should be able to pay their player they drafted market value. And I don't think a good system is one where a player, we'll just use Nolan Smith. Mm-hmm. Nolan Smith has to leave because, to your point, he should go get your market value. You should. But I think if the Eagles draft a player, develop the player, want to keep him, and are willing to pay him, it's not a good system if you're not allowed to keep your own players.
Well, but also to your point about erasing mistakes, okay, you could say that that's fine, but then I could come back and say, well, you just spent $17 million a year on Bryce Huff. So you're saying I should change the rules to let you keep whoever you want when you're spending $17 million over here. Mm-hmm. That was not a good allocation of funds, right? I think they do it to erase mistakes.
For sure.
From
now, one thing, I guess not to keep comparing, but in the NFL, you can erase mistakes much easier. In the NBA and baseball, it's harder, right? So, when they redo all this, will it be as easy to erase mistakes? And now
I don't think it will be.
No, it will. It will level the playing.
Yeah, but if you're not will be more costly because you almost will be stuck with.
But the counter to that would be if the Eagles cut somebody today. The reason there's big cap hits is because they stretch these things out over 8 years. If you're just flat out doing a 5-year, $100 million deal, then in theory
it's $20 million a year,
right? Yeah. Maybe it's not. So maybe there's that, but I think it would probably be harder.
Well, no, it definitely happens in the NBA. You can just look at the effect that the new rules have had, not just over the last 3 years. We don't see repeat champions in the NBA anymore. We used to all the time. And they're talking about breaking the Celtics team up. Part of why Denver wasn't able to stay good is because they couldn't pay Bruce Brown and they couldn't pay. Now
Jeff Green, all those guys, all those role players.
I don't know if that's a good thing, though.
Leagues love parity. I
know they do.
It means that I think it's a bad thing. I like when there are dynasties. I like when there's teams that people want to gun for. I like when there's evil empires. Yeah. I love the Heat. I thought the Heat with LeBron and all that stuff was good for the NBA because everybody had something to gun for.
The Warriors with Durant.
Yeah, I thought it was. But the leagues like parity because they don't want fan bases going into a season thinking we have no chance to win.
And the NFL, I think, more than any other sport, currently has that. Where
we thrive on, baby.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Almost every team can go into the season being you never know.
Yep. So OTAs, were you at NovaCare today?
No, so the Eagles were at NovaCare today for the first day of a 2-day OTA. We are there tomorrow and get to watch in full.
That's pretty exciting.
I can't wait.
Are you charting it?
Of course. Now, they're not official stats. Like, these are just more informative.
Yeah,
like the training
preseason
camp stats are kept year over year. Like, these will just be informative.
So it's 7-on-7. Are there pads? There are no pads, right?
No. So they can do 7-on-7 and 11-on-11. That doesn't mean they definitely will when we're there tomorrow. And the other component to this is it is supposed to rain all day tomorrow. You wonder, with a 90-man roster, if they move into bubble, like, just throwing that out there.
No doubt. Moving into the bubble.
Yeah. It just might impact what they do.
That's a 40-minute practice tomorrow.
Exactly. Right. Yeah.
But that'll be that's way too many players to be in that bubble.
But what we will get to see tomorrow is the first look at the depth chart. And they'll say it's just day, and there is truth to it. It's just right now.
What are you looking for?
Well, there's really four main spots.
Okay.
First one to me is the right guard. Is it Kenyon Green or is it Tyler Steen? I think it'll be Tyler Steen because he's been here longer. Sure. He knows the offense. Sure. I think he'll be up first there. The second one would be the safety spot. Is it going to be Sidney next to Reed Blankenship? Is it going to be Lewis Seen? Is it going to be Makuba? I would guess it's not Makuba.
Is Sidney healthy?
Sidney is healthy.
He is healthy and
he's
ready
healthy,
to go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, he ended the season healthy, if I'm not mistaken.
Did
right?
he? I couldn't remember. I thought he got injured late.
No,
maybe that was 2 years ago.
2 years ago,
yeah. Okay.
But the other name is, there's Lewis Seen, right?
Yeah.
First round pick, has the best draft pedigree of all of them. But then there's Tristan McCullum. Like, Tristan McCullum was the starter opposite Reed last year.
I don't want to see him on the field.
I don't disagree with you, but I'm just letting you, like,
he
on
even know he was still here. I didn't even know he was still here.
He's on the roster, and obviously Vic Fangio likes him. So that's the other one.
Everybody has a blind spot.
He's not perfect.
Yeah.
Am I crazy? Am I taking crazy pills? Did it seem like something bad happened every time Tristan McCullum was out there?
So
I agree.
I would agree with you. I would just say, though, like, Sidney Brown hasn't played, Makuba hasn't played.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah, so there's not like a stud prospect there.
I got you.
Like, if they took Malachi Starks and they had McCullum out there, I'd be like, this is a waste of time.
Yeah.
But so then the other one would be the linebacker spot, and then that's the Jahad Campbell of it all. Like,
so did you mention corner?
I was going to do that next.
Yeah. Oh, okay, all right.
Corner, I think it's going to be Keeley.
Okay.
You do? Okay.
Yeah, well, and again, this is the caveat to all this right now is Keeley's been here. Keeley knows the defense. So there's that component to it.
Yeah.
But at linebacker, you have obviously Zach Bond will be one of them. And then I don't think Jahad Campbell's going to practice tomorrow. So assuming Jahad's not out there, then you have probably no Nakobe, I would think. And then
his nephew out there.
Trotter will be out there.
Yeah, he out there.
But the other name I'd keep an eye on as a potential starter would be the rookie out of Georgia, Smile Mondon Jr.
Oh, Ike.
Exactly. Like,
I'm sure he doesn't want to be called that.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah. But ultra athletic, probably the best athlete if you don't include Jahad. They're different kinds of athletes. Yeah, he's like a could play safety size linebacker.
Yes. That's me.
Exactly. But he's viewed as a very smart football guy. Mm-hmm. So another Ike thing right there. So I wouldn't like completely rule him out. Like, he's played with the Georgia guys, so they got a lot of options.
How do you pronounce that name?
I believe it's Smile Mondon Jr.
That's right. It's not spelled like smile.
But
it's smile.
In like a weird way.
It's smile.
Yeah, isn't it like SMYLE or something?
I think there's an A.
I thought it was
Is there an A?
I think there's an A in there somewhere. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's Smile.
Yeah, I think
I'm 99% sure.
I looked it up. I'm pretty sure it's Smile.
Smile?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's easy.
Yeah.
Do you have any thought that Kyle McCord is QB1?
You don't think you'll see him out there tomorrow at QB1? No, I think he's probably QB4 tomorrow, if I had to guess. Yeah.
All right.
But I'll have the Kyle McCord stats for
What's
you.
his number?
Wasn't it 19?
That's a tough number.
No, it's at 16?
No, because Tanner's 16, right?
Yeah. Okay, so maybe
I thought
it's
he had a good number.
To look this up.
What was his college number?
No,
6?
he's 19 for the Eagles.
Oh, that's
He's 19.
terrible.
Yeah, because
Not a bad number.
No, it's not terrible. It's not a great number, but it's not a terrible
Johnny
number.
U, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
You ever
yeah.
heard of Johnny U?
But that's so long ago. Like,
Yeah.
Listen,
no one's excited to be 19 because of Johnny Unitas at this point. I feel like.
I showed the Bloomsburg.
What about Joe Montana?
Wasn't he
He was
16?
Kansas City.
Oh, my bad.
Well, that's even worse.
His career was over.
Yeah, exactly.
He's pretty good with Kansas
He
City.
made it to the AFC Championship.
Yeah,
game
he's pretty
against
good.
Buffalo.
All right.
Nice stats.
Okay.
Jack didn't know that.
Now, we will get to two things with you, Eliot. First of all, we will get to your opinion on the Jalen thing. Mm-hmm. Second of all, Paul George quotes on Ace Bailey.
Ooh, boy.
Bucket boy.
And third, there was an interesting article from Ben Solak at ESPN.com today about it was just sort of looking ahead to the season, and the Eagles were mentioned in a couple of spots. But before we get to that, next question today is, what is the best concert you've ever saw? And you as a concertman.
Yeah, so I have recency bias, so part of me just wants to say Beyonce because I was just there. But hold up. I would say it's All right, I would say the best concert I've ever been to was I was at the first Made in America, where it was like Jay-Z walked down the Art Museum steps, Kanye came out, 2 Chainz, like Pusher, like that.
That's the one Jack was at?
Yeah. Well,
No. I was at 2 Chainz, Meek, Drake in Camden.
You were there?
in Camden?
Yeah, come on, man, in a Larry Bird jersey.
Who'd you go with?
Oh, you took the ferry over. Come on. What are
Did
we
you bring
talking
Jill
about?
to that one?
Yeah.
Where'd you go? Who went with
He
you?
said in the Larry Bird jersey.
Yep, with a shirt underneath it.
Oh.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Oh, it is?
Yeah. It's Celtics Larry Bird jersey with a shirt underneath
Do you
it.
have pictures of this?
Somewhere. I got to find it.
Oh,
Yeah,
my
you do.
God.
Have
Oh
to
my
find
God!
Can't believe you wore the Larry Bird
Larry
jersey.
Bird jersey.
The shirt underneath is really funny too. Was it a concert, like a summer concert?
Yeah.
And you still went with the shirt?
What was it? The
Of course.
What?
What do you mean?
Well, yeah. You think he's
arms?
buffed? You think he's out there ripped
Well,
up?
I just think the
little
shirt
eczema
under the
mixing up
jersey
my
looks
arms
so
with-
silly that you
Yeah.
have to wear no shirt if you're gonna do.
Nah,
Now
no.
what I'll do is I'll do the jersey, maybe put like a shirt over it, like a
Oh, like a
not a
like an
flannel.
unbuttoned.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's a better look than that.
I
A
would
button-up
agree.
shirt with a jersey?
Not
I'll show
like
you-
a
I'll show
jacket.
you a- I'll
like
show you a
sort of
picture.
like a jacket shirt.
Okay.
Almost.
Yeah, I'll show you a picture.
Yeah. Show you a picture. All right. This is the WIP Afternoon Show with Unexpected Fritz.
Larry Bird jersey, man.
Celtics, green.
All I saw was do the right thing pop up in my head.
Yeah.